I am Donna, and welcome to Donna's Kitchen, where everything in my kitchen is no corn, no soy. So you may be wondering, why no corn, no soy? First off, there's a lot of health benefits to not eating corn and soy. I no longer have the digestive problems that were caused by eating corn and soy, and I actually had to have an allergy test to find out that I was allergic. But not only was I allergic, but when I stopped eating the things that had corn and soy, suddenly I started losing weight. Huge benefit. And I kind of went crazy on making recipes. I would go through the store looking at labels and everything, and I think I drove my kids nuts. But, you know, I would literally sit there and go to the store, and I'm like, you know, checking it out, right? And they're like, Mom, can we go? And I'm like, well, you know what? This is important for me, so if you don't like it, go sit in the car. I created a cookbook. It's in the works right now. My recipes are all done. It's been turned into the publisher, and the publisher's team is putting it together for me, and I've had amazing pictures taken of my amazing foods, and I'm so excited for this book to come out. And in the meantime, I'm going to be making these recipes to show you how you can cook with no corn and soy also. So for example, today's recipe, I'm going to be making my granola bar bites. And baking soda I'm using in recipes, not this one, but I use this instead of baking powder because baking powder has cornstarch in it, which most people just simply aren't aware of. Now for this recipe, I'm going to be using rice Chex Mix specifically. I'm using Winco brand creamy peanut butter. You can use any peanut butter as long as you look at the label, make sure there's no soy. A lot of peanut butter uses soy oil. You don't want that. I'm using Planters peanuts, specifically the cocktail peanuts, because even though Planters has made this particular style without the corn or soy, they have others that have other seasonings and flavors in them. You have to read your labels. Big, big, big. Agave, I love it because it's a natural sweetener, and if I'm not able to use the honey or real sugar, then I use this as a great substitute, and it makes it just as sweet. And in this recipe, I am using Trader Joe's freeze-dried blueberries. Now, keep in mind, I'm not sponsored by any of these people. These are just products I enjoy using because I know that I can use them. And then I also love this particular brand of chocolate chips. And if I don't have this one, sometimes I will go to Walmart. Again, not sponsored by. And they have these mini chips. And you don't find these in the regular chocolate chip aisle. You find these with the gluten-free stuff, which that's where they decide to put it. So if you're going to go to Walmart, go to the gluten-free area for that. And then also in this recipe, I'm using 100% raw honey. You can use any honey because pure honey does not have any corn or soy at all. And then I'm using specifically the Snyder's snap pretzels. They have other pretzels, but they have corn or soy in them. This one doesn't, and these ones look like little squares. And then the final ingredient for this recipe is the ground nutmeg. Most seasonings you don't have to worry about, but if it's a mixture, then you're going to want to read the label on it. Otherwise, it should be pure vanilla or whatever you're using. Okay, so we're going to make our granola bar bites. And to start, we have our 2 cups of oats. I'm going to mix that with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're going to put, I already have the oven preheated at 350 degrees. So I'm going to mix this up and then toasted in the oven, and it'll give it a really nice flavor in with the granola bar bites. Make sure that the oats are coated thoroughly. And I'm going to grab the pan. Oh, quick tip. Put a little bit of water on your pan, just a little bit, and it helps your wax paper stick to it so it stays in place, doesn't fall off when you're trying to use it. And you want to spread this out pretty evenly so that way it'll toast evenly. I'm going to put these in the oven for 5 minutes, stir it, and then 5 more minutes, and that'll be just enough time where there'll be a nice golden brown. Okay. And I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes and let it go. I'm going to take the oats out of the oven. And this is out what they look like after 10 minutes of bake time. Now we need to let them cool. We leave the oven on because we're going to be baking the granola bites. But in the meantime, we need to let this cool. So we're going to go ahead and make the sugary part of the granola bars. We're going to go ahead, and I've got 1.5 cups of creamy peanut butter. And let me tell you that when the peanut butter and the honey get together, oh my goodness, pure heaven. There's peanut butter, and this is 1/2 cup of honey. And then I have 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Firmly packed. There we go. And mix it really well. We'll set this aside until we're ready for it. All that goodness. Okay, now that we've made our mixture of goop that holds all the goodness together, we're going to go ahead and add our ingredients to a large bowl. I've got 1 cup of peanuts. I've got 1 cup of the pretzels crushed up, broken into little tiny pieces. I've got the dehydrated or freeze-dried blueberries. Cereal. Chocolate chip goodness. The nutmeg, which there is 1/4 teaspoon. And my butter, I'm going to put it in the microwave and melt it quickly and then pour it in. And once that's in, we'll mix in our peanut buttery goodness. 1 tablespoon of butter in the microwave, make it liquid. Yes, dear, always. Okay, now we have pourable liquid butter. In it goes. Wonderful goodness. And then our peanut butter sweetness.
What is that?
This is a mixture of peanut butter and honey and brown sugar. As you can see, while I'm mixing it, it wants to just spill out the other side of the bowl. So you really got to push it together. Once it's thoroughly mixed, I'm going to put it in the pan that's already lined, press it firm onto the bottom of the pan, and we're going to bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. This takes me back to childhood. Instead of Play-Doh, it's food.
Ow.
that good? And put the entire mixture into the pan, and then we're going to press it down so that way it'll make a nice firm bar, and then we can make small little bites out of it. And the purpose in bites is they're easier for if you're going to, let's say, you've got to go somewhere, you got to be somewhere, you don't have time for a large breakfast, have a bite. Having a healthy meal. Loaded with protein from the peanuts and the peanut butter. And the sweet that you're getting, most of it is from the honey, so that's natural. All of these ingredients that I use are natural ingredients. I don't like using the processed stuff because anything processed will have corn or soy in it, I guarantee you. I've done enough checking and research of my own. When I discovered I had the diverticulitis, I did some tests from the doctor to discover what caused it, and it was the corn and soy. That was just eye-opening, especially when I discovered it's in everything. I mean, most sodas have what? High fructose corn syrup in it. And they'll get you. They'll use a word like maltodextrin, and you won't know that's corn. So there's a whole entire list of corn products and soy products that they use under different names, and I will go over that in another video. And you're just going to be amazed with how much corn and soy you probably have been eating and just not aware of, because they don't tell you these things. You know, you got to discover it and find it out on your own, and I thank God that I did. God has been the main person who's started this adventure. I kid you not, I would be laying in bed trying to go to sleep, and God would be telling me, you need to get up and write this recipe. I'm like, I want to go to bed. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep. Well, you can't sleep because you need to write this down. So I'd write down the recipe. Guess what? Went to sleep in no time. Amazing. And of course, every recipe I've tried out at least 100 times on my family and friends, anyone who is willing to be a guinea pig. So now we're going to put it in the oven. It's going to be in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And now we wait for that goodness. Okay, the oven just beeped, so we're taking this out of the oven. Nice thing about having it in paper, it out right onto the cooling rack and let it cool for a few moments before you begin to cut. Had plenty of time to cool. I like using my pizza cutter. These are best after they've completely cooled, and they're great just to throw in a baggie and you're on the go. Or you can cut them into bigger chunks and just enjoy for breakfast while you're sitting enjoying your coffee. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching. This is Donna from Donna's Kitchen. No corn, no soy. Have a wonderful day.